What if I told you that you don't need a six-figure salary to become a millionaire? I know, that probably sounds a little ridiculous, because everywhere you look, it seems like wealthy people are earning huge salaries. Doctors, executives, business owners, tech workers. And it's easy to think, well, of course they can build wealth. They make so much money. But here's the thing. A big salary and a big net worth are not the same thing. You can earn a lot of money and spend almost all of it. And you can earn an ordinary income, live reasonably, invest consistently, and slowly build something much bigger than your salary. So today, let's talk about what actually matters. If you're a woman in your 40s thinking, I don't earn enough to ever become wealthy, because that might not be the problem you think it is. Let's start with something really simple. Income is what you earn. Wealth is what you keep and build. Imagine two women. One earns $150,000 a year. She has a beautiful home, a new car, expensive holidays, and a lifestyle that matches her income. But she spends almost everything she earns. The other woman earns $80,000. She lives comfortably, but she doesn't feel the need to upgrade her lifestyle every time her income goes up. She has an emergency fund, she contributes to retirement, she invests consistently. Over time, that second woman could end up with a surprisingly large net worth. That's because wealth isn't really about how impressive your income looks. It's about what your income becomes. And this is where things get interesting. Because most of us don't consciously decide, I'm going to spend every pay rise I ever receive. It happens gradually. You get a raise, you celebrate, you upgrade your phone, you eat out a little more, you take the nicer holiday, you move into the slightly bigger house, you add a few more subscriptions. And suddenly, that pay rise has disappeared. This is lifestyle inflation. And I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy your money. You absolutely should. The problem is when every increase in income automatically becomes an increase in spending. Because then your lifestyle keeps growing, but your wealth doesn't. So here's the first thing I'd do. I'd look for my invisible raise. Before worrying about earning another $10,000, I'd look at the money already coming in. Where is it going? What am I paying for that I don't really value? Which bills could I renegotiate? Which subscriptions have quietly accumulated? Where am I spending because something is convenient, rather than because I actually want it? You don't need to cut every coffee. You don't need to live like a monk. And you definitely don't need to make yourself miserable. The goal is to find the spending that doesn't genuinely improve your life. Because sometimes you already have a raise hiding inside your budget. Now, let's say you do get that bigger salary. Fantastic. But before you spend it, give the increase a job. Imagine you receive a $5,000 annual raise. You could let all $5,000 disappear into your lifestyle. Or you could decide that part of that raise belongs to your future. Maybe half goes toward your investments. Some improves your current quality of life, and some gives you flexibility. The percentages aren't the important part. The habit is. Every time your income increases, your future should get a raise too. That's how you gradually increase your savings and investment rate without feeling like you've suddenly sacrificed your entire lifestyle. And this is probably the most important shift. Don't just ask, how much do I earn? Start asking, how much of what I earn am I turning into assets? Because your salary pays you for the work you do. Assets can potentially keep working after you finish the workday. Investments, retirement accounts, diversified funds, property, depending on your circumstances. These are the things that can help turn today's income into tomorrow's wealth. And this is why I don't want you obsessing over whether you're earning enough. Yes, increasing your income can absolutely accelerate your progress. But if you increase your income without increasing your assets, you're mostly just creating a more expensive lifestyle. There's one more trap I want you to avoid: waiting. I'll start investing when I earn more. I'll save more when the kids are older. I'll sort out retirement when the mortgage is smaller. And I understand why we think this way. Life is expensive. There are always competing priorities. But here's the uncomfortable truth. There may never be a magical moment when life suddenly becomes financially easy. So instead of waiting for the perfect salary, start with the salary you have. Start with the amount you can manage. Then increase it when your circumstances allow. Small doesn't mean pointless. Small is how many big things begin. So, can someone with an ordinary salary become a millionaire? Potentially, yes. But it's not because there's some secret investment that magically turns a modest income into a fortune. It's because of what happens over years. You earn, you live, you invest. You keep increasing the amount you're able to invest, and you give those investments time. That's the part we don't see on social media. There's no dramatic before and after photo, no overnight transformation, just thousands of ordinary decisions quietly adding up. And if you're over 40, I actually think that's good news, because you don't need to become a completely different person tomorrow. You need to become a little more intentional with the person you already are. So, if you've ever looked at your salary and thought, I'll never be wealthy on this, maybe don't ask whether your salary is big enough. Ask what you're doing with it. Are you allowing every pay rise to become lifestyle inflation? Are you finding the money that's quietly leaking away? Are you consistently turning some of your income into assets? Are you increasing that amount as your income grows? Because becoming wealthy isn't about looking wealthy. It's about owning more than you owe. It's about building something that belongs to you. And it's about giving your future self more choices than she has today. You don't need a perfect salary. You don't need a perfect plan. And you don't need to start with a fortune. You just need to start turning income into assets. Put the kettle on, and let's build your assets together. Until next time,